Airpark Canterbury bringing you Chris Lynch News, your ultimate off-site airport parking experience. Save big with airparkcanterbury.co.nz.
The statistics that Woolworths has put out today, they're pretty shocking to say the least, aren't they, in terms of the amount of violence happening at stores right across New Zealand. Are you surprised by the data?
Look, Chris, we were expecting to see a turn in the data and really hoping that it would either flatline or reduce. But what it's showing is we're still seeing an increase in serious assaults and events in our stores, and particularly that physical assaults being up by 50%, quite startling.
Yeah, physical assaults up by 50% is just shocking. It is out of this world. I mean, I can almost hear the bleeding hearts now saying, well, it's because of the cost of living crisis. You're partly to blame. I can imagine those comments coming through on social media. Violence is not acceptable in any matter.
Absolutely, and this is why we're talking about it. You know, the violence we've been seeing over an extended period of time now is not okay. We're seeing a shift in our society right before our very eyes, and it's a collective effort that we need to work on. Government agencies, industries, retail groups, and actually we're taking a serious role ourselves in what we can do to keep our team safe.
Let's just look at some of these stats that you've put out. So in the last year, there have been 925 acts of violence and aggression in Woolworths stores. That is up from 848 the previous year. That is a 9% increase.
Correct. Now, those incidents are verbal abuse, physical abuse, serious physical assault, right through to concealed weapons being produced, as well as actually understanding how many people might be coming into our stores under the influence.
So what do you do? And this is probably your job, I'd imagine, being the head of health and safety. What can you do to keep people safe?
Look, we have a responsibility, an obligation and duty of care to keep our team safe in our workplace under the Health and Safety at Work Act. We also have a responsibility to keep our customers safe, and we take that very seriously. So we've been really looking deeply over this, particularly the last year, 18 months, to see what we can do and what's within our circle of influence, what's in our control. And we've been rolling through a suite of controls to help make our store team safer, harden the front end of our stores particularly, but really seek and work with other organisations and across the industry group to make sure that we can understand who's doing it well, what are they trying, what do we need to pivot into, are our controls effective, and what more can we do?
I know that Woolworths New Zealand is asking for consideration of a similar system to the Australian workplace protection orders and improvements to trespass law for retail businesses. What exactly does that mean?
Look, Chris, the current trespass law is, we would say, ineffective in its current positioning. So, a piece of paper to ask someone not to return and then relying heavily on, if they do return, that police are available to come and actually help respond and for that individual to still be on site. So what we're really asking for is that the government needs to continue to investigate and look at and listen to organisations, retailers, other parties to go, what's working well maybe overseas, what could they do more? This workplace protection order opportunity is really about how could something with more teeth and more substance be passed on to a recidivist high harm offender, particularly from a judge, so that actually it's very clear you are not to return to this location, you are not to reoffend. And that's much more significant than a piece of paper to say, please don't return.
Are you finding, and I bet you probably are on this question, that a lot of these offenders that actually even just go in and steal and act aggressively, as you probably pointed out, they're repeat offenders. They simply don't care, do they? And that's part of the problem.
We have a lot of recidivist high harm and repeat offenders. That's what we call them, right? Because these are offenders that are actually in our workplace. They keep returning. They're very brazen. Their behaviour and how they can escalate can go from 0 to 100 in a fraction of a second, and they're very, very determined to remove stolen goods and items potentially from our stores. And if our team actually approach them, go to intervene, go to diffuse the situation, they really potentially could be putting themselves in harm's way. So we're teaching our team how to actually assess situations safely, to know when to intervene and when not to. But unfortunately, Chris, we're even having team that are just going about their normal day job and they're being assaulted. And that's not even with an intervention.
The company has invested, I think you said in the press release, $45 million on security measures. Run me through some of those.
Yeah, look, it's a great question. I've got a bit of a list here for you, Chris. A number of these and the suite of controls include things like push-to-talk radios, team safety cameras, and the likes of entry gates, whether that's shark's teeth, double entry gates, strengthening of glass, bollards at the front of stores, right through to our trolley locking system, which is great technology to stop full trolley push-outs, through to ANPR or automatic number plate recognition, CCTV, spec upgrades, fog cannons, GRS devices, and that doesn't even include our guarding with what we're doing around covert or concierge guarding.
This is incredible that you're even having to list those multi-million-dollar crime prevention measures. And I know times have changed. I was a checkout chick once, and I felt incredibly safe going to work every day and working in a supermarket. Do you believe those days are behind us now, and that, long gone the days of your induction being, here's your checkout, here's what you do, be nice to the customers? It really is about all the other security measures that go with working in a supermarket now.
Look, I 100% agree with you, Chris. I think times have changed. We induct our team now, and what we're also talking to them about is, what to do or how to alert for help if something happens in front of them, how to keep themselves safe, and actually even where our store safe location is if they need to actually lock down the store and where do they go. So it is a different environment. The world has changed and our country has changed before our very eyes. But I think also the duty of care and responsibility actually on employers is also notched up a few degrees more. So there's more responsibility on us to do everything that we possibly can. I think what we're really looking for now is how do we work collectively together and collaborate with government agencies, industry, community groups, right across our sector to see what we can do differently to help make our team safe and actually make retail shopping or coming to the supermarket enjoyable. Maybe, it's enjoyable and safe. And actually, if you work in a supermarket, as you say, whether you're on the front line, on a checkout, whether you're picking online orders or you're out the back in the stockroom, that you feel safe when you come to work.
Absolutely. You should be able to feel safe. Just finally, what is your message to customers across New Zealand that shop at the Woolworths brands?
I would say to our customers that we've got a suite of controls that we've been deploying right across our whole store network. So if you do see events actually happen in our stores, please maybe bring it to attention of our team, but don't intervene. We want our customers to be safe too. Trust that we've got some fantastic systems and solutions and controls in place, and we really are working very closely with our police, local and national, to try and make sure that we can reduce harm in our workplace. And hopefully, ultimately, that will reduce stock loss and keep prices lower for customers, which will actually help their back pocket.